Welcome.
Hello and welcome to Lave Radio.
Greetings and welcome to Lave Radio.
Greetings, Commanders.
Greetings, Commanders.
The show that talks about the universe of Elite
and the development of the computer game Elite 4, known as Elite Dangerous,
and the fantastic
community that surrounds it.
Broadcast from the Orange Sidewinder and hosted by a vending machine technician.
A place of nonsense and innuendo for forum dads. A self-contained podcast 2 hours long.
Transmitting to every corner of the galaxy.
It's even louder than me.
The hottest show this side of Dizzo.
The name of the place.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Greetings, Commanders, and welcome to episode 493 of Lave Radio, the show that likes to talk about the universe of Elite Dangerous and the fantastic community that surrounds it. I'm your host, Commander Phoenix Sophia, otherwise known as Colin Ford, Chief Archivist of Lave Station, and joining me in the Orange Sidewinder Bar, we have our SRV Banksy, Commander Alec Turner.
Excuse me, this is going to be very difficult because I've just been given the most delicious slice of toast. Which is it's going to be difficult to eat and talk, but I shall try my best. Hello, good evening.
There is a mute button. That way we don't hear the crumbs falling.
Yeah, but you also don't hear me talking. Maybe that's a good thing.
Surely you don't talk with your mouth full. Off to a good start. Health and safety.
Don't call him Shirley.
Health and Head of Health and Safety, that's Ben Moss Woodward. He was just chipping in there, otherwise known as Ed Levice.
Oh, I'm going to see Alex slice of toast and raise him a croissant.
Ooh, yeah, you and your continental ways.
I bet my toast is noisier.
Are we going to? I can't believe it. We're going for a full. We're going for a full crunch off right from the very beginning. Yeah, so, and we also have our Staff Liaison Officer, Commander Psychit, otherwise known as Claire.
Hi. Get you fancy bastards, with your fucking croissant and baked goods.
Toast?
Get out.
Eating toast, it's not that fancy.
Okay, yeah, I'll allow you to have toast. Fucking croissant Steve over here.
Croissant Steve?
I don't know.
Would it help if I got my croissant from Lidl?
No. In fact, that makes it worse. I don't know.
Oh, I can't believe he's actually eating a crap croissant right in front of us.
How dare? How very
I'm
dare?
not. I just could if I wanted to.
Croissant.
It could be worse. You could be talking about muffins.
Croissant.
Well, I was thinking I should have got some crumpets, to be honest.
Oh, crumpets! Now that's a baked good.
It is, isn't it? Would you like some toast?
Actually, Epiphras has me banged to rights. My toast is fancy bread. It's multi-seed sourdough.
Well, there you go then. There you go. Yeah. I don't restrict anything, you fancy baked good bastards.
Right, well, on Lave Toast, we'll move on.
Welcome to Bread Radio.
So if you wish, you can join us live. We are hanging out in game, I believe, Ben.
Yeah, I'm currently lurking in the bar at Lave. I'll probably go somewhere and do something, but I don't know. I'll see how I feel.
Yes.
I'm running on about two hours sleep.
Flying about in your posh croissant, eh? Yeah, there you go.
Oh, I've got a crate mug too at the moment, but yeah. That should be a crepe mock too, sorry.
Grape Mock 2. Oh, man.
Wow.
Bread puns.
I
Bread
don't
puns.
believe that. That was so painful. Oh.
It was a little stale, yeah.
You know, we've been away 2 weeks. You can tell that, can't you? Go on, get it all out now for now. Right. So if you can't get to us in game, and you really feel the need for joining a bakery, you can always join the Twitch chat channel, which you can access through laveradio.com/live. Click on the live chat, or go to twitch.tv/laveradio, or you'll find us on YouTube as well. So we'll quickly go around the team, hoping to avoid any bread-related products. and see what you've been up to for the last 2 weeks. And Claire, would you like to go first?
Oh, you know how I was so excited 2 weeks ago about being able to give you a big in-depth itinerary of what I've done over the last 2 weeks? Well, buckle the fuck in, lads, because it's happening. So last Tuesday, let's go from there. Last Tuesday, we weren't live on Lave as we normally are and as we normally want to do. That's because multiple people were away, but myself and the lovely Chris Mark 5 were in Cardiff watching the Foo Fighters. And it was really cool. It was really
pause for appreciation.
It was really good. It was really good. A proper bucket list kind of shit we're talking. Oh my gosh. They made me I cried easily at least 3 times, which is odd for me because I never cry. I cried easily at least 3 times at the Foo Fighters. They were utterly outstanding. Dave Grohl is like the living embodiment of a 20 charisma, but rolling a dice that only has 20s on it. He is charisma personified, just an absolutely delightful person to watch on stage. Highly recommend, if you ever get the opportunity to go and see the Foos, go and see the Foos, because I'm not going to forget. There's a couple of moments. There were a couple of moments. I took some. I recorded some bits, but there was a section between before the encore. So when we're waiting for them to come back out and do a couple more songs, and the whole of Cardiff Stadium are singing part of Best of You. Yeah, part of that, and I literally it will stay with me forever. It was one of the best. Oh, so good. And then on Friday last week, Chris Mark 5 and I took our merry selves off to London town, for another gig that we were seeing in Wembley Arena, which was on the Saturday night. But before we saw the gig on the Friday night, we opened up our TKTS tickets and booked tickets for Sister Act, the musical, which I knew it was Alexandra Burke and Ruth Jones. So Alexandra Burke, who won the X Factor many moons ago, and then went on, I think, to either win or come second.
No, she won.
She won Strictly as well, did she?
Oh no, she certainly.
She definitely won on the X Factor, but I couldn't remember whether or not she won Strictly. But she was brilliant. She was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Also in it were Doreen from Birds of a Feather, Lee Mead, who very long time ago, a very, very long time ago, Andrew Lloyd Webber did a search for Joseph and His Technicolor Dreamcoat, and there was a reality show where you could vote for. That. Yeah, remember that. Lee Mead won, and I've been following his career ever since, but I did not know that he was in Sister Act, and that was another bucket list item, was for me to see Lee Mead perform live. So I got to see that, and also Lamar was also there. So it was a pretty.
So Lamar, as in Never ended story,
No,
Lamar.
Lamar. No, not Lamar. Lamar, as
Oh,
in, the last time I saw him, he was dressed as a cricket on the Masked Singer UK.
Oh, gotcha.
Lamar, yeah, and he was brilliant as well. So it was quite a UK, a plethora of UK stars, from the list. So like Nessa from Gavin and Stacey as well. It was really good. It was really good. The ending was incredibly gay, and I loved every moment of it. It was like rainbows were exploding in my face. It was great. And then on Saturday we went to Wembley Arena and watched Green Day live. And now I'm tired.
That is quite the bender. I'm impressed.
Green Day were I'm not as big a fan as Green Day as I am
The Foos.
the Foos. So it wasn't quite as much for me, but I know how much Chris has like loved Green Day since I've known him, and obviously before I've known him, he's loved Green Day and he's never got to see them live. So that was really, really I was enjoying him enjoying it more necessarily than I was enjoying it, mainly due to the fact that we were so high up. It was really scary when I got there first. I had a very, very small moment of texting my sister and my mum and going, I think I'm about to have a panic attack because we were so high up. But then when it filled up a bit more, it wasn't that bad. But we were like,
it was Wembley Arena.
Wembley Arena, and
yeah,
we were
it does go high, doesn't it?
We were like right at the top section, row 36, so very far towards the back, and it was nosebleed worthy, but I once it had all filled in, it was a lot better. But I'm so happy that I've managed to do all of that because Chris is saying Green Day were amazing and they don't understand the concept of pacing and they went hard from the start and didn't stop, which is so accurate. They just didn't stop. But also, if I had £1 for every time in the last week I have heard an American band live play a section of a Beatles song, I'd have £2, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice, especially with one of them being in Wales. But yeah, that was my week. I'm exhausted. How's everybody else?
I don't know. Let's find out. Okay, Alec, you're next.
God, I can't compete with that at all.
No, you can't. Just let it run.
I don't know. I had my car serviced. I cut down some bamboo in the garden. I bought Cyberpunk in the sale, but I haven't installed it yet. I've been. I don't want any spoilers because I haven't finished it yet, but I've been binging Fallout, and my God, I bloody love that. It's the best thing I have watched for a long, long time. I just adore that. The kind of style of it, that mix of like Ink Spot's music and sick stuff, really sick sort of grim stuff going on at the same time. And I love that kind of clunky sort of almost Terry Gilliam's Brazil-esque sort of technology, and it's great. I love everything about it. I'm adoring.
Have you played any of the games?
No. The first thing I did after watching a couple of episodes was go and Google Fallout gameplay because I thought, okay, I want to play this now. And apparently they have had a massive spike.
Yeah, they have.
When people do. It doesn't quite look as good as I'd hoped as a game. I think it might be a better TV series than a game. Opinions. What do people think? Is it good?
Never played a Fallout game, although I have all of Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, and Fallout 4 all in my list to play.
Shame.
I played. I think it was Fallout 4. I played a little bit of Fallout 4. Got into Power Armor. Couldn't figure out how to get out of Power Armor. Closed the game and uninstalled it. And I haven't watched the show yet, but it does look really, really interesting.
Oh, it's great. It's really good.
Bearing in mind these games, Fallout 3 especially is getting on a bit now, I guess.
Yeah.
And bearing in mind this is Bethesda. It is a Bethesda open world it's a Bethesda open world RPG. So if you've ever played any one of them, you'll have played all of them.
Oh, right. Okay. So no need then.
No,
feel like-
it is very, very good stuff. It's the Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas. They've got much better storylines than Starfield.
From watching the TV show, what I really wanted Fallout to be was like I guess a kind of first-person shooter like Half-Life, or
It's
I sort of wanted it to be that.
It's a
like almost
first-person
a linear.
shooter, but it's not linear. No, it's open world, and
Anyway.
you can also use an in-game system that they call, I think it's BATS or something, or VATS.
Right.
Probably VATS. That makes more sense.
Anyway, I got
to
Cyberpunk
plug
in it,
things.
so I don't need Fallout.
Yeah,
that-
Cyberpunk's great.
Cyberpunk
that,
is. Yeah.
other than that, I have done some in-game stuff. I've been playing a lot of Buckyball Pop Gun. Oh my god, what a race! It's so good. We'll talk more about that later, I think. And then this morning I nipped off to Indra to start trying to get my 2 million damage. It's quite tough at the moment. I was only getting like less than 100,000, I think, per bombing run. So I'm only about a third of the way there. But I'm sure it'll get a lot weaker on Thursday. I expect we'll talk about that as well.
Well, hopefully so.
Or will it? Am I getting cocky?
Yeah, we
you
will.
might be.
Yeah, we will. Don't worry about it.
Okay, Psychic, do you want to go back? You've got more?
Nah. I didn't really do anything in game, but I have started Dragon Age. Started Dragon Age for the first time today, which was really, really fun. That's a good game. Why didn't none of you tell me about how good RPGs are, you fuck?
Because it's Dragon Age. When was it announced?
Listen, guys.
Is it Dragon Age Origins you're playing?
That's what I've just started, yeah. My guys, with the best will in the world, all I played for a really long time was Counter-Strike and Elite Dangerous. So I had no idea that these amazing stories
You had no idea
existed.
these things existed.
No, and I'm a late bloomer when it comes to these RPGs, but boy, am I enjoying myself. Also, I went to see One Punk Band and yesterday got my nose pierced. That's how that works. Yeah, that was the two things I just missed. I haven't really done anything in Elite. I thought about trying to open up the game and do some buckyball stuff, but I was on my holidays. So I didn't.
I think you would.
And then I didn't. I think
fun.
I probably would. It looked really fun.
It would have been good to stream. but
Yeah.
Whatever. Never mind. It's fine.
Next
Right.
one.
Ben, what have you been up
so
to for the last, I don't know how long now?
It's been 2-3 weeks now, I think.
Mm-hmm. Probably.
I have finished Mass Effect Trilogy with all 70 gigs worth of take it from a 2010 game to 2020 game. And my god, it looks beautiful. It is amazing. I love it. I will say, I'm gonna have to say, Alec, especially if it's going cheap in the Steam sale, pick up Fallout. I don't think you'll regret it. It is probably some of the
sure
best.
I won't. I just don't get much time to play anything else.
Well, that's
Elite, and
the
I realise that's a
downside.
me problem. But
Yeah. I mean, it could easily chew up at least 100 hours.
Oh, easily.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
That's one of the
especially
things
just like with Mass Effect, again, there are so many mods you can get for it, because obviously it's the same guys who did Skyrim as well. It's the same engine. You can get all the mods for everything. It's very, very easy to do. Like Sai said, I've been very tempted to go back into Dragon Age as well, actually. Oh, I don't know. Can you still hear me, Colin?
Okay. Yeah, I can
Okay.
still hear you.
I'm also tempted to go back into Dragon Age after thoroughly enjoying Mass Effect. But I have to admit, I've been missing, because I felt I needed to push through Mass Effect and just play it, and I didn't want to stop. I didn't dive into flying spaceships, and I have missed flying spaceships for the past month, even though I've been in the Normandy.
Yeah, it's not the same, was it?
It's not the same. I mean, it'll never happen. But my God, I would love a Mass Effect Total conversion written into a video game that allows you to run around the Citadel or the Normandy, free roam, etc.
It's funny you should mention that.
Yeah.
Because when the guys who originally did Mass Effect have seen Elite Dangerous, They have reportedly said this is what we wanted in Mass Effect, the game, that kind of galaxy that Elite Dangerous has. They wanted to have all those mechanics in, but then you'd also have Mass Effect on top of it.
Well, could you imagine going through every single system and scan? How much ESO would you have by the end of this thing?
I will freely admit that one of my more cheaty mods that I installed was one click gets all resources, so that I didn't have to spend 10 hours.
I couldn't bring myself to do it.
Oh, you mean you couldn't bring yourself to install that mod?
No,
I
couldn't.
Bring yourself to...
It felt so cheaty when I saw it. I was like, oh,
yeah, it was like, and then I was just like, no, fuck it. I've done this enough times now. I don't need to go and go.
Yeah, I
click,
suppose.
Scan, click, find it, scan. Just
maybe I'm still green with it that I'm still enjoying it.
Yeah, so it's at least my third or fourth playthrough. Although it's only my second.
Oh, maybe not then.
It's only my second playthrough of Mass Effect 3.
Oh wow.
Because I think I played that, and then I got royally
angry at it.
Off.
Yeah. I get it.
The original was like, I have made all of these galaxy-changing decisions, and it boils down to red, yellow, and green.
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
Seriously?
It boils down to blue, green, and red.
Blue,
but
green.
not that I'm going to be pedantic about this game or anything.
Like,
not me, surely not.
Literally, you're not even making it so that I have literally been supporting the Geth and the Quarians making best buddies.
There are arguments.
Why do they not do that?
Oh,
that is
I'm so bored of that.
I know.
You're just boring me with this now.
It's a difficult argument.
It's so 2010, isn't it?
Yeah, last time we had this kind of argument, we had a Labour government. No.
Hey! Let's wait until next Tuesday then.
Friday.
Little bit of politics. Hey, hear me now.
No, because I'm having to do a postal vote. I actually voted today.
I thought you had to put that in by a certain point, but never mind.
It's got to arrive by 10 p.m. on Thursday.
Ah, right, you'll be fine then.
So yeah, I shoved it into a real post office and said, "Here you are, lads," and that was that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that. Oh, and the highlight of my week was going to Lidl to get some croissants.
Croissant.
That's disgusting.
Croissant.
You. Right. Well, I've been playing a bit of Elite Dangerous while everybody else has been busy watching bands jump around the stage. So I've been playing a lot of that. I originally started going, this is the start of the Colin Fleet Carrier Fund, and went plant scanning, and then got so bored of plant scanning I came back.
You make a lot of money.
About 200 million, but I just...
Oh, that's not great.
No, it's not great. It's just one of these things where if you go... I think if you decide to go exploring and you get plant scanning on the side, it's fine. You've got to have the right attitude. And if you decide, no, I'm going to go plant scanning, it just gets so boring when you've got to system after system and there's nothing there. And there's one bacterium on a planet that you can't see because it's white bacterium on a blooming ice planet. So what's the chance you get that? Oh, my God. So I gave up and came back to try and do some Thargoid stuff. Couldn't be bothered doing Thargoid stuff and started to do other things instead, which I've never done before. Like powering down weapons on megaships.
Nice.
That's fun. Never knew that happened. Running around bases, shutting off the power on the old Horizons bases. That's fun. Never did that before. Anything that's naughty I've not done before. And I've decided I'm going to be naughty. And I'm having a good time doing it. So, yes, I've been doing a lot of that. I did have a bit of a medical dilemma, if you like, or an ethical dilemma. I did a settlement raid on a supposed illegal occupants, in quotes. But it turns out it was just a full hospital complex full of unarmed medical personnel with no bounties.
Everybody's armed in elite. They have to be. Everyone's got a gun.
And you're just there thinking, I've just run around shooting doctors and nurses. This isn't right. Oh man! So yes,
they might have been doctors and nurses, Colin, but maybe they were Nazi doctor and nurses.
Maybe they were all racists. There you go.
I think Colin's the Nazi in this scenario, I'm afraid.
Colin the Nazi. Oh dear. In other words, I've got back into doing BG3 at the moment, my Brummy Wizard, and I'm trying to rescue Minsk even as we speak. So, yeah, that's fun. So, that's everybody caught up. Whew. And it's only taken us half an hour.
It's fine. We've got no elite content, so we're all good.
Right. Let's move on to the development news. What have the devs said this week? Well, it was the Frontier Unleashed, Unlocked, or whatever. Basically, FU was on last Wednesday with Arthur talking about... I mean, I'm sorry, but the loose screws started calling it FU, so I think it's good enough to call it FU.
Yeah, let's roll with it. It's on brand.
Is on brand. So yes, they announced the Type 8 and gave us a lot of details about said ship. So let's have a quick glance at what there is. It's going to be coming in August, and yes, there will be early access. There's going to be 1 medium and 5 small hard points, which is an odd layout. Internals are 1 size 1, 1 size 2, 1 size 4, 2 size 5, 3 size 6, and 1 size 7. It can carry a maximum of 406 tons of cargo, and it has a Class 5 power plant, thrusters, FSD, Class 4 power distributor, Class 3 life support, sensors, and of course 32 tons of fuel. And also it is SCO compatible, means it won't jump around and it will basically not guzzle the fuel like everything else is. So it looked good. There was no sound on the video that they showed us. Let's have a quick glance. Ben, you saw the videos, I take it? I'd like to know what...
Yeah, I've seen the videos. I'm gonna go with what Alex said in that. Yeah, I hope this is work in progress, and we get more than a yellow box with more details in it.
Yeah, that was odd, wasn't it? I sort of almost felt bad for saying.
I'm sure we will.
With the original stills that we got, they had I don't know, a different, darker, kind of grubbier paint job, and I thought it looked fantastic. And and I think in my head I imagined maybe more details than there were. I don't know. And when I saw this, particularly because it was quite well lit, and particularly from the back, my first thought was, they've only got video of the grey box flying around. It'll be nice to see what the actual ship looks like. And then I quickly realized that maybe I'd made a mistake and it wasn't. But yeah, from certain angles, it surfaces I don't know, plainer than I imagined.
Yeah,
maybe that was a rendering thing then. Possibly.
Yeah, I think it's still a work in progress. They haven't
I think it's
finalized everything.
I mean, it does say work in progress. So hope. Yeah, just let's hope there's going to be more detail.
Yeah. So what was your impression? First impression, then, Alec?
I mean, apart from that, unfortunate.
Sorry, did I steal your
genuine? No, Ben would. I mean, you just. I was just chipping in on my thoughts on that. But yeah, apart from that unfortunate first impression, it looks great, doesn't it? There was an interesting thing. Was it in the video or in one of the screenshots? I think it was in the video. Oh, it was a couple of things actually. So one, it's just a minor sort of lore grumble, I suppose. You know, Arthur talked about the engines coming in on those sort of hydraulic arms. I think either Arthur or somebody said so it could land on a medium pad, and I was thinking, well, those arms don't really change the footprint, do they? So
do they change the height?
No, it's not the arms that allow it to to go on. It's the nacelles drawing in
Yeah.
that
That's what I
allow
meant,
it to
though.
land.
The engines drawing in don't change its footprint.
Yes, they do.
No,
Make
but
it
they
thinner.
changed the height.
But why is the height? Why is the landing pad size?
That's why the Type 7 can't go in a medium.
It's
too
to do
tall.
with where the
Oh,
isn't it to do with where the
height
where
of
the
hangar
lights are?
underground? The height
Yeah.
of the underground
Yeah,
hangar.
yeah.
Mhm.
And like some of the extra little additional
Yes.
bits.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, my bad. I see. Yeah, you're right. Okay, I'll let them off then.
You know, sorry, but I'll raise this as a question
Yeah.
later.
Do.
Go.
No, the only other thing, and there seemed to be some confusion originally around this because Arthur sort of said something about there was some confusion about whether it had 6 utility slots and 4 hard points or 6 hard points. I think to do with the way he said there's 2 small hard points either side of the cockpit, and it
Yeah.
wasn't clear whether there were 2 each side or 1 each side. Anyway, I think we're fairly confident now that there's 2 each side. What I didn't get on the hard points is in the previous show,
Yes.
pretty sure he stressed that the hard points were all out on those big arms in front, so you'd be able to see them.
Oh,
that
I know. I
seems
thought
not to be
he
true.
was.
It's
Yeah, I
not
thought.
that. It's the two on either side are on the arms, and then you got one on the top and one on the bottom.
I don't
And
think
the
they
one-
are on the arms.
No.
I think they're right
they
next
are.
to the cockpit glass.
No,
They
no,
might
no.
be right next to the
Oh.
cockpit.
Right. The way this breaks down is that there is a pair of small hard points just either side of the cockpit. There's one small hard point just above the cockpit. There's another 2 hard points on the arms, and then you've got the one big medium gun underneath underneath on the cargo bay.
Okay.
Yeah. So as far as this ship's concerned, if you're interested in attacking the ship, attack it from the top, because from what I understand, all the guns are pointing down.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, that's funny.
unless they've put the 2 hard points for the on the arms on top of the arms, then yeah, it's got a major weakness. So yeah, that was my first impression. Actually, I was there thinking, yeah, it looks boxy, it looks nice. There was a thing about Arthur saying that he wanted to apologize, say that originally he said it was a fighter/freighter, but it's pretty much obvious that it's just a freighter with better guns than a Type 7.
Did he genuinely say that? Did he say did he apologize for that?
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Oh, thank fuck! I thought I was going insane.
Yeah, it's not a
when.
fighter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I think with its SCO drive on it, I think it is going to be the ideal power play transporter. I think, and I look forward to flying it. Of course, it has to be said, this video was completely sound effect free, but we also recommend that you listen to Galnet News Digest and Commander's Beetlejude impersonation of Tally doing ship sound effects.
I'm not saying that she should have a job based on those credentials alone, but she should definitely have a job based on those credentials alone. Because I mean, if you can do that, what more do you need to prove that you're worthy? It seems that it should be that easy.
Yeah. So it's like, what did you think?
I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought it was great. I think it's really interesting. Seeing I think it's really interesting seeing that as the next ship. I'm still kind of surprised that they've gone for a hauler next over an exploration vehicle. But at the same time, with the fact that we now know that Power Play 2.0 is coming quite as soon as it is, it does make more sense that they're gonna whack a hauler in there as well. Yeah, like probably, given everything that we know about Power Play so far, probably. I don't think exploration data doesn't really factor in too much. I'm not a power player, obviously, but I don't think that exploration data factors in quite a lot on that kind of thing. So
I mean, even if it does, I think if you're sitting down to do some power play, the idea of just jetting off into the galaxy for 2 months doesn't quite feel like
No,
you're doing
it
power
does.
play, does it?
That doesn't work for power play at all. Not under the present mechanics, anyway. Although,
time.
yeah, you never know. They might have the sort of thing where you get extra power play vouchers for bringing back exploration data. There might be a power there that likes that.
Yeah.
So because it's not as if it's the philosophy has changed in power play where they say just play the game and you get the vouchers, as opposed to do this particular task for the vouchers. That so there's somebody might decide that one of the powers really likes exploring, so you go exploring, bring back your exploration data, we'll give you a load of vouchers. So it's I mean, my impression on this is, and a lot of the community seems to think that, this thing is to hold off the bad guys while you power up get the coordinates from the Navi computer and make the jump to light speed.
with your one medium and 5 small hard points.
Yeah, mostly mines, I reckon.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to pack any punches anytime soon, is it? It's not again. Thanks, Alf, for clarifying. It's not a dedicated combat vehicle with those kind of hard points, but
no, I think
pretty, though.
Yeah, we've got to remember when you're flying one of these, you don't get points for actually killing other ships. You get points for making your trade run.
Yeah, I would have liked to see her have more comparable hard points to the Python, though. Because the question, like, my initial thoughts were, hey, Python, rip the original Python, absolutely. This is super cool, and it's got more storage, and it's going to be more stable in Super Cruise, overcharge, and all of that stuff. But still, if someone rips you out, you're going to need to have mines. So you're sacrificing. Is it an internal slot for a mine launcher, or is it hardpoint?
Hardpoint.
Hardpoint. Okay, so that's not too bad then, I guess. But it's still. I don't know. It gives me. I was kind of wanting to like have a rip the Python. No one's going to use it anymore, and I still think there's a place for the Python. Rubigo runs, but also in this, if people are wanting to defend themselves with more firepower, I would have liked to see it comparable to it.
To tell you the truth,
I'm concerned.
To tell you the truth, I think the one thing that they haven't confirmed this, but I would like a fighter bay. Although Darren did chip in on that, and he said, just imagine if you had a fighter bay and you put taipans in it, it'd be like having little babies.
Doesn't the base of it mean that there isn't a fighter bay? There's not a space for it. If you look at the bottom of the ship when it takes off, there isn't space for there to be a fighter bay, even if you wanted one. I don't think this is going to be compatible with one. And I'm taking that from
he was telling us the details, wasn't he? I think he would have said.
I'm taking that from other people in chat, like, the ones that weren't being arseholes, the people in chat who are actually making viable comments were saying
there were not very nice people in chat.
There were a couple of people who were lovely, but a lot of people were there's so many people here and they're only here for Elite Dangerous. I tell you what, though, that F1 manager bit that they did looked really fucking cool, didn't it?
It did.
It really did.
It did.
Can't wait to get my hands on that bad boy.
Hopefully, it will be a bit better than the George Russell.
I mean, George Russell had a really good weekend. I don't know what you're talking about.
I know. I shouldn't complain. I had him in my fantasy F1 team, so
I'm
actually quite happy.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. I just wish that there's certain demographics of Elite fans that just need to just wind it in, maybe go and touch grass occasionally. And I went out, I touched grass a few times this week.
Oh, grass.
And grass.
Phew. Right. Okay. Phew.
I touched grass a few times. It was good. I highly recommend it.
Alec, what's this about ground clearance?
Oh, yeah,
Touching grass.
One other little observation is that when there's a view in the reel that we're showing at the moment where when it's landed from the back, those two rear engines are awfully close to the ground. What I'm curious is that they're showing it landed on a very flat bit of ground next, settlement, sort of bowling green flat, really. I'm curious to see what happens when you try and recall it and it lands on one of those engine nacelles lands on a rock. I mean, either it's going to be difficult to land, or we're going to see some lovely clipping with those engine nacelles, like through the ground or through rocks. Or
I think it's going to be difficult to land because that thing looks as if it's only designed for landing pads. It's not really designed for going exploring in and landing on planets.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little spotlight buried in the tarmac. In fact, there's a few of them around the ship pointing up at it in the landing shot, and the ground clearance looks to be about the height of that spotlight.
Yeah,
which ain't much. We shall see.
Right. Well, that is the Type 8. It will be coming in August. Just to remind everybody, you'll be getting the Python Mark 2 for free in August as well. Ben?
I've got a couple of questions that I'd love to figure out about the Type 8 before.
Oh, go on then.
One, I wonder what the price difference is going to be between the Type 8 and the Type 7, because obviously, my old progression before I crashed into this planet was, I was like Type 6, Type 7, Type 9.
Yeah.
And there was a massive difference between the Type 6 and the Type 7. And then again, there was a massive difference between the Type 7 and the Type 9.
Yep.
If I were doing this all again now, I strongly suspect, unless the Type 8 is a lot more expensive, I'd skip over the Type 7, and I wonder who's going to fly a Type 7 now and why they would fly it.
I think this makes the Type 7 obsolete.
I think so too. And I wonder who would fly a Type 7 and why. And the other thing, and I feel like a bit of a douche for saying this or for asking this, but okay, this thing's meant to be a cargo hauler.
Mm-hmm.
Why the hell am I sacrificing half my cargo space to put my cockpit in the middle of the ship behind two chunky arms? Why not have the cockpit at the front of the ship and have all that room at the back behind the cockpit, even another Type 7 bay?
What you mean, join up the arms and have a cargo ray?
Join up the arms.
Are you big mad that it looks pretty, Ben? Is this what the situation is?
I think I am.
You're big mad that it looks pretty. Okay. Duly noted.
Join up. Keep the same space, but give me another a size 7 or a size 7 or a size 6.
Ben wants to fly bricks.
Yeah. It's a cargo ship. It's not meant to be pretty.
Maybe there will be an in-game reason for having those arms at a later point.
Balance.
I wouldn't hold your breath on that.
Yeah. I know.
They're there for cool, and it looks cool.
Yeah.
But the boring, sensible part of me is like, okay, if the entire point of this is to get as much cargo as possible into a medium pad, why the hell are we sacrificing half that bloody space?
Yeah, for fuck's sake, give me realism in my science fiction game.
I know.
I mean,
yeah, One to Moot just says, isn't 406 tons enough for you, Ben?
No. I don't know how big is the size 7.
What's the Type 7 at the moment?
Type 7 360, I think.
Yeah.
Is it? That's quite a lot, isn't it? It's more than I thought.
310, sorry, 310.
Yeah, it's 310 and can only
just 50
land,
out there, Ben. Good.
And can only land in large pads. So,
the cargo space it can hold is great and all, but you've got all that bloody empty space in front of me. If I'm a cargo ship, I want my cargo in there. And I don't.
Yeah.
You know
What
what?
would
You know
rather
what? I
have,
can
a Borg cube or this?
book you or a
Oh
Volvo.
no, don't. He's going to say
Fucking
Borg
space.
cube. He's going to want a
If you're-
Volvo or a Borg cube, one of the two.
If you're cargo holding and you're being efficient, I want a Borg cube.
Balls to efficiency.
Oh god.
Yeah, I want mine to look
Yeah.
nice in pictures.
Yeah.
Also, if I wanted pretty pictures, I'd fly a Mamba.
Hello, I'd like my ships to be ergonomically correct, please.
I'd like the game in which I shoot massive organic Thargoids in space. I want all of the realism that I could probably have, please. Get fucked. Get
It's a
unequivocally
shipping-
fucked, Ben.
It's a shipping container thing, for God's sake.
Fucked.
It's
So-
a shipping container.
Ben
Be
wants
proud of being a shipping container.
Ben wants a space Volvo.
For me shipping containers and for me trucking, damn right I do.
Oh, you're shit out of luck then, aren't you, Sunshine?
Yes.
Ben,
Yes.
Ben, you get what you get and you don't get upset.
Oh, I think it looks amazing. I'm just saying, if I were buying that ship for myself, I'd say, fuck off, give me more cargo space.
To which they turn around and say, well, enjoy your Type 7 then.
Yeah.
The Type 7 doesn't have more cargo space.
I know
It
it
should
doesn't.
do.
Yeah, the type.
This is the problem.
Yes.
And this one's built like a fucking Rubik's Cube, not Rubik's Cube, Tetris game, the way they've packed everything in.
Yeah.
Oh, I can see ideas now happening.
Yeah. I'll tell you, I mean, I think we hypothesized a bit about this the other day, but I would love if I could get external cargo racks on it.
No.
That would just make me so happy. Like
I wonder if you can. I've just thought of a great screenshot. I wonder if you can get some scissor girl action going on with this.
Wait, what?
100%, absolutely. Yeah, you definitely
Jesus
can.
Christ.
For sure. For sure.
Oh,
I call
God.
it day one. We're gonna have multiple of those on the internet.
Excellent.
Yeah, we all know who's gonna be.
Rule
I'm sorry,
34, this
Colin.
bad boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Colin. All I can say is if you're getting if we're lucky enough to get one and you're the stunt pilot for it, Colin, you have one job.
Why? Oh dear. Just right. Moving on from the Type 8 now. Now that Ben's had his whinge about the fact it's not rectangular enough
It's not
for him.
boxy enough for me, damn it.
Yes. The last mic drop of that that Arthur made was that Power Play is due to come in September, or Power Play 2.0 is due to come in September rather. So that gives us about a month to learn how to fly the Type 8 before putting it into practice. So yeah, that's going to be interesting. I think a little bit surprised because I was expecting it to come in September because I was under the impression that it was coming in summer, but yeah. So
And I'm going to say tentatively, we're supposed to be having 2 more this year as well.
yeah, 2 more ships.
Yeah.
Yeah, and plus whatever update 20 is, because Power Play 2.0 is going to be
It's going to be a
update
packed second
19.
half of the year.
I think we all know what the next update is. I'm joking.
Well, speak for yourself unless you know something we don't.
We don't, but I've been saying it for fucking months now, Colin, what I think it's going to be. I couldn't possibly suggest that it's anything else.
Right. Well, okay. So there's actually been quite a bit of development stuff this week. So I'm now going to hand over to Alec for the community news.
And now to the community coroner.
It's a dead game, innit, mate?
Indeed. Community news is back. First up, we have another fantastic high wake video. Elite Dangerous HIP 12099. I had to watch this one twice because I confess I didn't get it. I was like, I don't get it. What's this about? And then the penny dropped and I watched it again, and it's very funny. There's some very subtle little arm movements right at the beginning that make me laugh a lot in this. Yeah, so good high wake as ever. This one, there wasn't a huge amount initially to shout out this week, so I'm quite glad I could include this because I would have included it last week when we weren't here. And this was from Project 676, who dropped into our Discord and popped a video in there, and it's pretty good. It's one of those Elite Dangerous music videos that begins with a kind of warning, warning flashing images, blah de blah, and they are not kidding. Yeah, if you're prone to flashing images, do not watch this one at all. But I liked it. It's got cool bit of music, lots of fast editing, great little music video, and in the same vein but a very different pace, we also have a video from Crunch Butt Steak called The Journey, which is lovely bit of Elite Dangerous cinematography in that as well. So 2 nice music videos. I think I mentioned this guy before a couple of weeks ago, Esposito Carlo Antonio, who has built the most awesome sim pit with more panels and switches and dials and displays than you could possibly imagine. I would love to know what a lot of it does. He's kind of not English speaker, so I think he's struggling to do an instructional video, but he has made more of a kind of presentational video where he just powers everything on and flicks a load of switches and takes off, and there's some sort of nice camera work showing what some of the cockpit does. So that's probably one of the nicest videos he's made so far to get a sense of his incredible cockpit that he's built.
It's mental, that.
Yeah,
Absolutely mental. So
it is
cool.
awesome. I kind of feel like a lot of it, I wonder how functional a lot of it is. Like just to take off, he sort of flicks about 8 switches, and I'm thinking, I can't imagine those do very much, but it is fun.
But immersion, though, immersion-wise,
Immersion.
it must be so fucking cool to just do that. I wonder if that some of them turn on like some of his screens as well, some of like his other screens and his other bits of equipment. And so he needs to physically do those before he can press a button to make it take off. That would be the way. If I was to do something like that, that's probably what I'd do.
Yeah, it's great. I'd love to have a go in something like that. Next up was something I think Claire was trying to remember as well.
It was, yeah.
A video from Indigo called Elite's Unsolvable Easter Egg, and it's quite interesting. I watched it today. It's about a thing I don't think I was even aware of called the Forever Signal. Apparently, there's a few things like this. There's this galactic background noise that people try and pinpoint the source of. But this one is from a sound that comes from the back of some, but not all, stations like Coriolis and what have you stations. So you know there's like that big sort of aerial thing pointing inwards from the back of some stations. So it sort of comes from that, but then there are some exceptions. There's a couple of stations that make the noise
and they don't have the aerial. Yeah, it's weird.
and he did, I don't know that he actually played the noise. Maybe he did play the sample, but the interesting thing about it is that if you run the old spectrograph on it, there are very distinct lines, some of which do look like bits of letters or sort of writing, but it's kind of unintelligible. It doesn't quite match up to anything that anyone's managed to unscramble, and that's the first interesting thing. And the other interesting thing is that apparently it never repeats. So if you manage to get like an hour of footage of that through a spectroscope, it's all the same kind of stuff, but it never repeats. So people are sort of have spent years apparently trying to get to the bottom of what it means. I personally, with my bar humbug hat on, sort of feel like, the way audio artists work. They throw in all sorts of shit and mix it up and pop bits out of sample A and add it onto sample B. And I just wonder if they've got some looping thing that makes some nice space station background noise, and it just happens to have a chop from a sample that used to have a spectrogram in it. I don't know.
It's like the old it kind of makes me feel a bit like, the Senator Petraeus, Your Days Are Numbered.
Yeah.
thing that popped up again really recently when some new stations went in, and it was effectively the sound team reusing assets that they'd forgotten had that stuff in. I think that was what a lot of people came to that conclusion, that
I
the
remember talking
places
about
where
that. Yeah.
where those were old assets. I think my guess would be that it's along those same lines, and also fits into that the very, very human nature of seeing shapes and things where the shapes don't actually exist.
That said, wouldn't the galaxy be a boring place if everyone thought like me and just went,
100%,
it's
yeah.
nothing? So I love that there are people that are excited about this and are trying to get to the bottom of it. And who knows, maybe they'll be right and I'll be wrong. So I love it. It's good stuff.
I'd love for there to be something coming off shit like that. I definitely would. I'm not one who's going to go and research all of that, but you fill your boots. That kind of thing.
Absolutely, there is absolutely stuff in Elite Dangerous that I probably would have poo-pooed that turned out to be definitely something.
Yeah.
And not nothing. So there you go. Just a quick plug for Yamisora. This is the series that's kind of in the style of Isanona. It's up to episode 6 now. They're great. I'm loving them. Just going to shout that out again. And interestingly, one thing I'm getting from them a lot, and it's something that Colin mentioned right at the beginning about going back into the game and doing some sort of simple stuff that is kind of overlooked, like some of these missions. And as was the style of Isanona, Yamisora is doing some pretty basic missions. And I think almost every episode I've seen something and thought, I never knew that was in the game. I find myself saying it every episode. What? I never knew that was in the game. Just really simple little things like, one of those missions where you go to a place in space to meet somebody to pick up some data, and it turns into a scenario where there's all this voice acting and pirates turn up after you've scanned the signal, and loads of great little stuff. And it really makes me want to. I was chatting with the guy and saying that not everyone, I'm sure, but I feel like I've become quite obsessed with like the big things like the Titans and racing and time trials, and I've kind of forgotten what the game was about. And I really want to try and find a way, maybe start a new account or something, and just go back and get into all this little stuff that I'm just not bothering with because I feel like it's beneath me. I don't know about beneath me, but I've got enough money, and I sort of see a mission in the mission board and it pays 50,000 credits, and I just think, well, what's the point of doing it? And I should stop doing that and just do missions for the joy of doing them, because there's so much stuff out there.
Yeah, that's the one thing that stopped me, was because I was there thinking, oh no, I want everyone to like me. I don't want to do naughty missions. I don't want to get negative rep. And it turns out that most of the fun missions are the ones where you get negative rep. Yeah, always makes.
Sorry.
Go on.
I was just going to say, I'm almost annoyed that Yamisura has done this, because I never got around to it, but for years since Isanona stopped making videos, I've been thinking I should try and do something similar, because it would, A, I quite like making videos, but B, it would be a good motivation to go out and do this, because you're telling a story of somebody that's setting out. But I, I couldn't possibly now, because they're already doing it and doing it really nicely, and there isn't really room, I don't think, for two series in such a similar style. I would feel like I'm just cramping it, but anyway, yeah, good stuff. Where are we? 2 more things. Okay, we mentioned this again 2 weeks ago as well. It was the There and There Again expedition by Sovereign Winter. I'm not sure we had a name for it. This is Sovereign Winter basically taking every single ship to Beagle Point, loaded up with a Hutton mug and other stuff. And now, of course, he's got some new ships to take out there. But there's finally a forum thread on this with a lot more detail. And it's a good read. And it really is one of those kind of all-time extraordinary exploration feats, I think, when you start to appreciate the scale of it. It's these sort of things come along, and there's probably a handful. I used to, in my best of forum thread, I used to have a section called Epic Tales of Daring Do, where I'd shout out those really special stories, like some of those epic fuel rat rescues and things. And this would definitely go in there. It's like one of the top 10 wow kind of Elite Dangerous exploration things. So yeah, There and There Again Expedition by Sovereign Winter. And there's a link to a forum thread. It's really good stuff. And lastly, the Buckyball race.
Hey,
Did anyone else do it, or is it just me?
just you.
Just me.
I'd have loved to, man. It did look really fun.
It was a really good one. It was really nice because it was our 100th race. That number just rolled around by coincidence. It just happened to land with Caleb and Cola's Top Gun Buckyball. So he has a whole load of race ideas based on sort of puns on movie names, but it turns out there's way more to it than the pun. It's beautiful. So Pop Gun was like a mission. I mean, it's very much, in fact, it's more like Top Gun Maverick, I suppose, or I suppose it's like the first one as well. But there's the briefing room at the beginning, and they get all the recruits in, and they've got this ludicrous mission where they've got to go here and fly low down a canyon, and then do an inverted loop and bomb a thing that is like bullseyeing a womp rat in the middle. I don't know. It was all like that. So basically, we had to take off from a fleet carrier, fly into enemy territory, and then in any order we liked, we had to fly into the core of a fleet carrier construction yard and shoot a missile at the kind of power thing at the core there. We had to fly through a tunnel in like a medical installation and knock out one of those power conduits hidden in a tunnel. We had to land on a planet's surface 15 kilometers from a base and then skim the surface and lob missiles at the power building. And there's one more. What am I missing? We had to. There's that one. How have I forgotten one of these? I can't remember. There's another thing we had to do. But what was really fun, I mean, not only was it, I know what we had to do. We had to fly along a trench and then find a particular cargo container and then kind of hover in front of it with at 0 speed and silent running on. But what was really fun was that Caleb and Cola, who was running the race, just completely role played it like the sort of drill instructor in Top Gun. So people were getting all sorts of stuff wrong in their submissions. Like people were going to the wrong planet. It turned out the system had 2 settlements with almost identical names: Makarov Analytics or something, and the other one was Makarov Synthetics, or I don't know. But they were so half the people were going to the wrong planet. An awful lot of people were scanning the wrong cargo container. A lot of people, myself included, kept forgetting to do silent running when you were supposed to do silent running. So I think this race had the record number of disqualifications, like every day.
Really?
And I think it only worked because Caleb and Cola was playing it as this brilliant drill sergeant role play. So every morning he'd go, "Right, gentlemen, let's have the debriefing. What the hell are you ladies up to? 5 of you have, it was." So he was just disqualifying runs left, right, and centre and getting away with it because of the role play, and it was hilarious. Yeah. So it was a good race. Really stiff competition. Lots of jostling for top place. It was really. I don't think it was ever 100% clear what was the best order to do things in. And the other thing was that in regulation we didn't have Super Cruise Overcharge, and Unlimited we did, and which made a huge difference. So those 2 were like completely different and probably should have been flown different routes, although I didn't. But there was planetary gravity to deal with. There was getting around a ringed body to deal with. There was finding a place to finish at that meant you could jump back to the start without an obscure jump. All sorts of really subtle stuff. Anyway, let's do the winners. So in Unlimited class, in reverse order. In 3rd place, yours truly, flying an Imperial Eagle, which I'll do the pre-bonus time. The bonuses were fun, but let's do the pre-bonus time because that's like the raw runtime. So I did it in 11 minutes and 30 seconds. Polar Brusky, also in an Imperial Eagle, did it in 11 minutes and 7. And Shay Blackwood, flying a Cobra Mark III, who did it in, I think, bang on 11 minutes plus bonuses.
Shay,
Shay.
Shay, do you think? I'm assuming it was a souped-up Cobra Mark 3 and not just fuck it, the regulation ship. Why not?
Yes, I believe Shay has some self-imposed rules for this
Of course he
series
does,
where
yeah.
he's not allowing himself to use certain ships. So why not Cobra Mark 3?
Well,
Make everyone in
clearly.
regulation look stupid. Meanwhile, down in regulation, where we have to fly a Cobra Mark III, but unengineered, I hasten to add, and with no supercruise overcharge. Yours truly again in third place. Third was my lot this time. In 17 minutes 15, Osric in second place was 16:29, and Kevin the Stabber comes in with amazing 15:59. So
Incredible. I love that.
yeah, good job, Kevin. That was a fantastic run to break the 16-minute barrier. Really good fun race though. Loved all the role play, and yes, I forgot to mention this right at the start, but Homburger has done his usual fantastic blog. It's a really good one for this. I think he's had fun with the role play of it all as well. So he's written his usual post buckyball blog called "When is a race not a race?" and we'll include a link to that in the show notes.
Excellent. If you have a community event that's taking place soon and would like us to shout about it across the airways, tweet the crew at Lave Radio or email info@laveradio.com. So, moving on to the in-game events, what has been happening this week? Well, we haven't had any Galnet news. Although, apart from the fantastic Galnet News Digest that we talked about earlier. So, just quickly bring everybody up to date with the Thargoid War. Yes, it's moving at quite a pace. We've got 26 alerts this week, which have been completely all repelled. We've got 512 systems which were under the control of Thargoids. 12 have been cleared when I looked at it a day ago. I think there's been a bit more since then. The Thargoids did manage to regain control over 2 systems. That won't last long. 4 Titans, of course, remain, but we're expecting that Indra will become vulnerable from Thursday.
Independence Day.
Oh, nice. I like that.
It's not mine. It's what everyone's been saying. I can't even remember where I saw it first, but it's happening.
And of course, that does happen on July the 4th.
Yeah, that's why it's Independence Day.
Yes, gotcha. 32 systems are in recovery. The Thargoid control is now only 43.5% of all the systems they had at the height of the invasion. And if the current rate of attrition continues, we're looking at the tail end of September for the destruction of all 8 Thargoids. But apparently we don't want to get cocky.
Who said September? Somebody said September.
I did.
In our
Nah,
was it you?
it definitely won't Colin. Couldn't have been.
I think also when we had Indigo on, I think he went September.
I think Indigo said September. I'm almost certain Indigo said September. I'm accusing Colin right now of jumping on the bandwagon.
Oh dear. Right. Whatever.
Do we think Indra's got anything
No.
any surprises for us?
Absolutely not. No.
You don't. You really don't.
I genuinely don't, because it's too late for it to have it now. Because anything goes. If it's say it spaffs out a shit ton of alerts on Independence Day, they don't matter for a week. At that point, it should. In theory, if it's just spaffing out alerts, those can be cleared and it can be vulnerable again.
Gotcha.
It's not really going to make any difference, because it's not.
You can ignore the alerts.
Yeah.
Down the Titan and the alerts will cancel.
Alerts will go anyway. Yeah. With the next few, however, who knows? But I'm expecting this to be Thursday completely vulnerable,
and Saturday gone.
Saturday boom, probably.
Yeah, get ready for Thargy boom boom. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, unless of course all of a sudden they decide to start flooding that system with glaives, then
the system with glaives, instantly doing a bunch of like, hey, remember, we just control these systems now. That's the decision we're making. If they do that, bit of a kick in the teeth to the people who have made these predictions and things along those lines. But I think it's going to be that kind of thing would be my guess. So I would say, as we did 2 weeks ago, prediction seems to be right. So if for any reason you cannot play on Thursday, between Thursday and Sunday, try and get your 2 mil in over the next couple of days, like Alec tried earlier. Do that because your boy's going down.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
might be saying, aren't I, that once, assuming it's significantly weakened from Thursday onwards, that you tend to get a lot of money from attack runs.
Yeah, it would be much easier for you to do it on Thursday. But if you don't have that availability to you, hey, you've got a little bit of warning. Try and do some, maybe now or in the next couple of days before Thursday, Ben.
I got 1 million in like an hour and a half, so I'll get the other million tomorrow. So yeah, a couple of good solid sessions. Even now you can do it.
Right. Well, I guess that means it's that time of the week again.
Store alert!
In the bi-weekly newsletter, here come paint jobs for your arts. In the bi-weekly newsletter, here come paint jobs for your
Well, to tell you the truth, there's nothing new in the store. However, because Steam have got their sale on, Elite Dangerous is part of that. The Steam Summer Sale, the base game is now £4.90. No, £4.49. And Odyssey is £6.49. And the deluxe edition is £8.79. So, yeah, get it cheap, lads, lasses.
You got it. Others. You got it. To all of those people, get it cheap, even if that involves you just making a new Steam account just for this particular reason. If you want another account, there's never been a better time. That said, the Frontier store obviously doesn't have it on sale. They are still selling it on the Frontier store, but this is the Steam summer sale. I can't remember the last time they did anything discounted on the Frontier store. The last thing I remember them doing on the Frontier store was upping all of the arcs, but we've discussed that.
Just slightly.
Just a bit. Well, I'm still incensed, Colin.
I know. Yeah. I did go and have a quick shuffle on Epic yesterday to see if they did anything there, and it was the normal price on Epic yesterday.
Well, it's a Steam summer sale.
Yeah, but Epic are also doing a summer sale, I think, at the moment as well. So
I thought that was I thought that was already done. That's my bad.
I think they said I'm sure I said I saw something with the summer sale. I could be wrong. And I don't have Epic open at the moment.
You can pick up the whole game for less price of a ship kit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously.
In fact, you can get the game for free, and you don't for less than it'll probably cost for a Type 8.
You right?
Or spin that around. It's so overpriced they cost more than the bloody game.
Hey, there we go.
Ah dear. Yeah. So I think we'll take a short break and come back with our main discussion about the Type 8.
Just last week I was mixing Sidewinder slammers at a seedy space bar. I wasn't even pilot registered. And now I have a ship and a basic starting mission for the Federal Navy. I'm going to see the galaxy. I've left my old life behind and now I'm delivering semiconductors to 61 Cygni. The recruiting officer told me it's a simple run and I'll get payment and immediate promotion. Wait, what's that? Is that a ship coming? Wait, what's that? Is that a ship incoming? Are they looking for me? What do they?
Welcome to the bubble. 55,000 stars with 19,000 inhabited systems, settlements, outposts, stations and bases. Where do you want to go? What do you want to see? Well, we can take you there. If you're too poor to own a spaceship, Apex Interstellar. What are you waiting for? No, is this thing finished? Get out of my way!
Have you been affected by Azimuth Biotech's provocation of the Thargoid menace? At Turner & Fig, we're ready to pursue claims against Azimuth Biotech as part of our class action lawsuit.
My son has started worshipping the Thargoid god and keeps bringing home human sacrifices. Am I entitled to compensation?
Yes, you are.
My daughter was aboard the Bright Sentinel. I keep calling Azimuth to find out where she is, but I always get their voicemail.
Thank you for calling Azimuth Biotech. We're sorry, but
Salvation
is not available. Please leave your message after the tone.
Am I entitled to compensation?
Yes, you are.
I was selling escape pod occupants into slavery, but now Thargoids keep taking the escape pods instead. Am I entitled to compensation?
I suppose so. Thousands, maybe millions of people are due compensation from Azimuth Biotech. Contact us today. Turner & Fig, cleaning out Azimuth Biotech for a huge portion of your compensation.
I spend so much time in my Imperial Trader, I find it really hard to meet people.
I mean, when do you get the time to go to bars when you're taking on courier jobs for the military?
But with VenusDating.com, it was so simple. I just put in my personal details and they found me my perfect match.
I really thought it would be difficult, but Venus Dating made it so simple, with so much in common.
We both like movies, walking along the beach at sunset,
browsing imperial shipyards.
And of course, since we started dating, we've discovered that we both really love shooting Thargoids. Let your voyage begin with VenusDating.com for every first encounter.
For generations, we believed we were alone, that life on Sol was sacrosanct. But as soon as we could see further and reach further, we jumped further. In an endless search for the truth. In a galaxy of 400 billion star systems, basic life has grown abundant. We are not alone. We are part of ecosystems spanning planets and stars, bacteria and fungoids, grasses and shrubs, exquisite flowers and bulbs thrive under the most alien tinted atmospheres. At Vista Genomics, we wish to trace them all, to catalog and collect every specimen from every sector, to build up a picture of where we fit in the galaxy. The search for our beginnings begins with you.
There's bargains, bargains, bargains at Etienne Dawn's Unspecified Meat Emporium. Etienne Dawn's Unspecified Meat Emporium haven't just been slicing carcasses, but also slicing their prices. All unspecified meat sausages now 2 for the price of 1. A pack of assorted meat steaks, now with 50% more meat at half the price. How about chops? Our surprising meat chops now also 50% off. And introducing our massive meat hamper. It's a family of 4. No, that should say feeds a family of 4, right?
Stick to the script, Claire. It says it's a family of 4.
Okay, I'll stick to the script.
Yeah, you do that.
It's a family of 4. Etienne Dawn's Unspecified Meat Emporium. Find us in the Lave business directory or visit us next to the station mortuary. Etienne Dawn's Unspecified Meat Emporium. You'll wonder how our prices are so low.
And welcome back. Well, we've had our discussion about the Type 8 earlier, but one of the questions of the week we had was to ask, now that we've seen the Type 8, what are your impressions?
Yeah, because it was worth it to hear what other people said. It didn't get a lot of traction, this one, I'm not going to lie. So my guess is that no one gives a shit. So it's gonna sell really, really, really poorly, I'm guessing, right? No one's gonna buy it. Just to clarify.
If it looks more like a Borg cube, they would.
Oh, really? No, Ben, I think that's just you, mate. But we had Ninja Space Unicorn reply saying that she loves her big ships for combat. So they're thinking they need to go weapon shopping for your 5 smalls and your 1 medium.
I'm disappointed in the combat capability of the Type 8.
It's going to
struggle, my lovely.
It was a combination fighter and hauler, weren't we?
Well, if you think about it, it's just going to be tiny pop gun turrets, isn't it? This would actually be a good ship to actually have a gunner with, an actual player gunner with you.
No, maybe.
Probably the only chance.
A shit ton of turreted DACA all around the bottom of it.
Oh yeah.
Can you get turreted mine launcher?
No, it's just you just dump it out the back.
Was it Arthur that actually said it might be good for mines? I think maybe he did.
I think it might be Arthur that said it would be good for mines, but what kind of mines actually will throw off a lot of the...
One thing I keep meaning to try, and I occasionally see videos of people doing it, and it looks like a huge amount of fun, is bombing surface settlements with mines. You have to get your timing just right, but you can rain down mines on surface settlements.
I love what Paul Archer's just said in chat, saying, "Oh, do you need another person so you just don't die alone, so you're not lonely in your final moments?" That's cool. Well done, Paul. I'm here for it.
I have actually bombed settlements when they were doing when they were doing live streams. I've bombed settlements full of human waste.
Yeah, I guess a lot depends on gravity, right? You probably want quite high gravity, because otherwise those things are going to fall to the ground so slowly that it would be really hard to judge.
Have you never heard of dive bombers?
Does that work? Do the physics of that work in Elite? Do you know what I mean? Does your downward velocity transfer to the stuff you spit out?
You know what? We'll have to double check it, because I thought it did.
Time for science and learning.
Time for science. You've got to drop. Biological waste on a settlement and see what happens. Preferably if Ben's running around the settlement at the time.
It's a good job that the Jadrino convention doesn't work.
Maybe I
preferably if it's slow.
Yeah, maybe I could bring back the Top Gun theme for my race, in which we have to do that, bomb a settlement using mines.
That sounds good.
Oh no. Oh no, I've already missed 2 this year. Shit. I'm gonna have to do it.
Oh, extra points for closer to the target you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I like the sound of this.
How do you monitor that though? Because you'll be zooming away like.
Yeah, I don't know.
That sounds like a you problem.
That sounds like a
you like they do in Top Gun Maverick. So they had a wingmate, didn't they, flying behind them? So one of them painted the target with a laser, and the other one dropped the bomb on it. So you have one who drops the bomb and one who photographs it.
The first ever buckyball race that needs to be done in pairs.
Yeah, it's far too complicated. Thanks for showing my wings, mate.
Actually sitting the fuck out of that one. I don't trust anyone. Actually, you know what? Katie, you're up, mate. You're talking about wanting to get back into Elite. Come on then, mate. I need you to point one laser at one thing.
Yeah. I like Epiphus' suggestion. He says, as the judge of the race, I'm just going to have to sit at the base for every run and watch them from the ground.
That's going to do well. Ben?
Angel's saying, I'm looking forward to trying mining in the Type 8. If it has the speed and the maneuverability that big holds, I may see it replacing my Crate Mark 2 miner. Yeah, I could see it being a decent miner.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Go on.
I was just going to say, stick a nice big hopper in it.
Yeah.
It
Refinery.
looks,
Sorry.
to tell you the truth, it looks more of a miner than a cargo vessel to me.
Yeah.
I agree with you, really. It looks like we're going to see a Stellar Screenshots week of so many in asteroid fields, and it'll look asteroid fields are really pretty, so I'm quite looking forward to that.
Yeah, I guess get some deep core mining from your Type 8. I think that'll be pretty good.
Most of the deep core mining things on mediums, though, hard points.
Oh, that's a point. That means you'd have to fly it backwards.
Well, you've only got one, so you wouldn't be able to do the other bits that sit sort of alongside the core miner. Don't get me wrong, I hate core mining, so it's not an issue for me. But for those folks who really enjoy the core mining aspect, I think you're right in that it would have made a good core miner had it had
an extra medium.
Yeah, a couple of extra mediums, so you could do some of the other bits that the bit that grazes the shit off and the bit that does the little drilling thing. Those bits are kind of cool and fun to do.
They are cool. It's a shame nobody really does that. I remember when they very first launched the mining and they described how it was all going to work. I love the idea that you took the surface stuff up first and then you did the drill.
Yeah.
Then you broke it open. And if you broke it open first, you'd lose the other two. So it made sense to, and in practice, it's just not worth doing the other two at all.
You know what I'd like to see, actually? I don't think they could do it, or at least not for the Type 8. But you know how we've got the dedicated slots? I'd love to see dedicated mining hardpoints.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to turn this into a fighter. So yeah, fine. Keep the itty bitty guns. But I think you're right. Give it a couple of size 3 things so you get proper mining on it. And that would be right good.
Hard points that you can only stick mining gear on. Interesting. Right. I have got Commander Henry Kissinger, who says, looking forward to using it for medium pad hauling missions. I haven't done those in a long time. I'm hoping we won't have to sacrifice a lot of cargo space for shields or armor. Maybe it will be fast enough that we won't have to worry about it. I mean, I guess how much cargo space you sacrifice for shields is kind of up to you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
To a certain extent.
Well, that's the balance you've got to have. Yeah, that's one thing that you can already feel people are already trying to work out the min-max build for it already.
I confess, I mean, I generally have enough shields to survive bumping into things, but almost certainly not enough that definitely not enough that if a player attacks me, I've got a hope in hell.
Yeah.
I guess so I guess then you're looking at an NPC attacking you, and frankly, interdictions are really easy to avoid. So, I don't know. I'm curious. How much shield do you need on a cargo ship?
When I'm looking at that, and I'm just thinking for BGS and what I'm used to, what I've done before in like my Python and stuff, tends to be size right down and put Prismos in in the spot. So I'm looking at that size 4 and thinking if I put a size 4 Prismo in there, and I haven't really looked at the rest of it, so whether like the power is good enough for it or any of the rest of that kind of stuff is that kind of thing. But my immediately looking at that when they said there was one size 4, I was like, well, that's the spot for my Prismo. That's not going to be an issue. But I don't know necessarily if times have changed. Looking at chat, maybe times haven't changed, and I'm still on the right track with that kind of thing. But that would be what I would go for.
I have to say, just on the comment of medium pad hauling missions, made me think, Super Cruise Overcharge has really opened up systems now. I think that there was a good half of most systems in the bubble maybe where the remote places were just too far for people to bother going to them, and now suddenly going 100,000 light seconds is whatever, it's just a burst of SEO and you're there kind of thing. So
oh, it's a godsend, that thing.
Yeah. So
I have been evangelical about it in all my streams so far, because it's just it's just given me so much more game time instead of waiting around and twiddling thumb time, if you see what I mean.
We talk about it all the time as well. We've talked about it so many times about being time poor. Is a word that we love chucking around here about being time poor and having a lot of. We all have a lot of shit on. We're all adults. We were adults when this game came. When this game came out, 10 years ago? We're adults now, and we're still in a position where when we don't play it as often as we would necessarily like. Because there's other things, be they other games or be they other work things that or like these work things that you other folks do that aren't playing other games all day. be it like real life adulting shit, or if you've got a concert to go and see or something, then it's opened up so much more of the galaxy. As Kremen's saying, my faction have got a system now that we've just avoided because the stations are 340,000 light seconds out, and now we're just like, hey, let's expand into that one because that might be fun.
Yeah, it is. Right, I have Finn. Even I can pronounce that one correctly.
Out of your pun.
Yeah. Probably turn back and said, I think you'll find it's fine, eh? But anyway, I love it. Needs some skin so it doesn't resemble Thunderbird 4. That's exactly. I was there thinking it does look a bit familiar. Can't place it. Of course, the same yellow as Thunderbird 4. But I will be trading in this come launch. It kills me seeing them in the demo with a planet that looks like it has an atmosphere, though. We need atmospheres. I can tell you what atmosphere that is. That's a neon atmosphere because they are very, very blue. And I love landing on planets with neon atmospheres, especially if it's got kind of a deserty effect, because, or genome rather, because that reminds me so much of Morocco. Right, back to you, Claire.
Commander Crichton Zeroth says this ship will be the excuse I need to throw myself into a career in space trucking and finally make a significant dent in my trade rank. I'd also like to use it as a dedicated supply runner to build my base once, that secret feature gets added. Crichton Zeroth, that's a brilliant idea. I've never heard of that before. You will be the person that I will turn to who cited that one first. It's a really good idea, like base building. I wonder who's going to put that in the game. I wonder if that's ever going to be a thing.
If I wanted to play base building, I'd play Sin City, not Elite fucking Dangerous.
Want this in the game, but that's what it's going to be, Ben. That was what the joke was. I want a yeah. Also, just to roll back a second, I'm gonna do a Donald Trump and talk about the previous question and say, what's wrong with Thunderbird 4?
Nothing's wrong with Thunderbird 4.
Nothing's wrong with Thunderbird 4.
Why does it need to not resemble Thunderbird 4, Finn? Why? Come back to us. Let us know.
Yeah, but
needlessly aggressive, Claire.
Maybe it makes him sad that it won't go underwater.
I mean, it makes everyone sad that these ships don't go underwater.
Yeah, you need the Moray Starboat for those.
Yeah,
it's also
100%.
Actually, make landable water worlds next.
Yeah.
Or is it sinkable water worlds then?
I love us skipping the whole thing about having landable water worlds. What you need is this ship for your water-based activities, where we have no water-based activities in the game. It gives me such joy.
I'm sure I read one of the Star Wars books recently where they went underwater for some reason, and I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, the Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't that. It was one of. I think it was one of the old Thrawn books. That's the ones I've been reading, but I can't remember.
It's a bigger fish.
I think you've overdone it. Okay, Ben.
Right, Commander Andrew Johnson is saying the poor Python Mark I will be retired and replaced by a Python Mark II and a Type 8. And he ain't wrong.
Not necessarily. It's still passenger missions, isn't it?
Robigo runs. It's going to be a Robigo runner until the day it dies.
I don't know about. I mean, I guess the Python Mark II probably does knock the Python Mark I on this, but we were saying earlier about the poor hard points on the Type 8. The Type 8 might be better than the Python for trading, but the thing about the Python is it's this all rounder. You can go bounty hunting one day and trading the next, and you ain't bounty hunting in a Type 8. I don't think really.
No, you're running in a Type 8.
Yeah. So it doesn't replace the Python.
I think we should. I think we should rename our first Type 8 as the Brave Sir Robin, because
it needs a coconut sound as part of its boost.
But mind they haven't done the sound.
They haven't given us a sound. You know what? There's still a chance.
You hit boost and all you hear, whoa, Patsy.
Are you saying there's a chance that we're going to get coconut noises? Because holy shit, I am on board.
I bet you they could work it in. I bet you they could.
Somewhere, some like hidden noise of
You know
coconuts.
what? Before the actual jet engines kick it, with the boost kicks in, you hear a double click.
Wait, half the press. Jude has coconuts. And we all know that Jude has coconuts. We all know that Jude now works for Frontier in the sound department.
Jude, give us our coconuts.
We know it. Jude, just have a word, mate, yeah?
Put that lovely bunch of coconuts to good use. And
hey!
Make another video.
Oh dear.
I've got a question actually with you guys in Type 8 and transport ships. I know when I was doing my transport ships, I've deliberately actually taken me guns off them to stop me from being tempted to shoot things. Is that just a Ben thing, or did anyone else do that?
No, that's a Ben thing.
Okay.
No, I like to kill things, Ben.
I like to kill things, but I like to kill things so much that I go and try killing things in a Type 6.
Yeah, I see what you mean, Ben. I quite like that in a way.
Why am I doing that?
Yeah. Don't even put temptation in your way if it's not going to go well.
I just removed the temptation, and I just found it's just like, don't even try.
Yeah, I do understand that, because
it's adding blinkers to horses, isn't it? It's that kind of mentality.
The thing was, there was me. I was in doing some exploration stuff in my ASP, and I thought, oh, there's a bounty I can go after, and then realised it wasn't the best ship. An exploration ASP is not the best combat ship, and then, as my arse was being handed to me, I thought, oh, I better run away now, because I forgot I'm not supposed to fight in this ship.
Oh no! Oh dear.
Yeah, thankfully I managed to get away and get rid of my my data, but that's
Brilliant. I've got Colin's favourite commander, because there's not a vowel in sight, but it's much easier to say than you imagine. I've got Mixelplix 73.
Superman villain.
Mixelplix?
Yes, Mr. Mixelplix.
That's easy for you to say.
Yeah. Yeah, but the thing is, you've got to say it backwards to get rid of him.
No, I'm not going to try that. I considered it briefly. They say, Mixelplix says, if it's as usable as the Python or Crate, it'll be a good-looking cargo runner. Be nice if you had a multi-unit hold, so you could split up in any combination you like. So you could have a few basic size 1 modules, but then an oversized cargo rack, or fuel scoop, or shield, etc.
That's been suggested before, where you can take a size 7 and split it into 2 size 3s or something like that.
My idea for when we got the multi-limpet controllers, I thought what they should do is have like a splitter. So you stick a thing in a size 7 that gives you 2 size 2s and a size 1 kind of deal. Maybe you lose a slot in doing it, but.
So how big is the multi-limpet controller? What size is that? Like the big massive one? It's size 7. And how many tons of cargo can I want to say size 7 cargo rack get you? If that's a thing.
Oh, there is one.
Like a lot, right?
Etsy. Yeah. Hang on. Yeah. Man looks up Etsy. Carry on.
So what are you saying, Claire?
I'm saying, I don't believe that it should be that big. Because your cargo racks is where you're storing all of the
I see.
You know what I mean? So your cargo racks is where you store all of the limpets. So you're not filling up a size 7's worth of space with all of the limpets that you're sending out. So why do you need like 200 and something? I think you're right, Apathis. It's like 200 and something odd tons worth of space for basically 7 different limpet controllers. That math ain't mathin' for me, and I'd love like, and this is a complete tangent, but I'd love like a separate electronics console that you can have, and that works a bit like some other inventory management bits where you fit them in kind of Tetris style-y. So like you'd have your Super Cruise Assist there, possibly docking computer there, and then multi-limpet controllers, but then you take out a docking computer because the multi-limpet controller wouldn't fit because the docking controller is too big and it wouldn't fill its mouth. That's a complete tangent, but that's my dream for Elite, was having those kind of things.
I do see what you're saying. It is hard to legitimize the size that why a size 7 multi-limpet controller takes up 400 tons of cargo space. When basically all the mechanical stuff is in the limpets, surely, which are additional to that, and all the controller is a bunch of electronics that programs the limpets to do something different. Yeah.
Incidentally, class 7 is 128 tons.
Oh, right. Okay.
So, yeah. Right. So, I got Buxton. Fan of your water. It makes a change that the best medium ship for hauling freight will actually be something that's supposed to be a freighter instead of just another general purpose ship like the Python. It also makes the Type 7 more pointless than it ever was before. That ship might as well not exist after the Type 8 comes out. Completely and utterly.
Yep. We don't know the price, do we? We don't know how much the Type 8 is going to cost, do we?
No, but I would have thought it would be about the same. Same as the I was thinking about the ARC's price. Sorry.
I was going to say this earlier on when this came up, but we're sort of saying the Type 8 makes this Type 7 redundant. That's only true unless there's a massive price difference. In theory, I will qualify that. So as a beginner, the price of ships kind of is a thing, and you progress from your Adder to your Cobra. But then I think these days you very quickly hit a world where money is no longer an object. I think by the time you've got to a Type 7, no matter how much Type 8 costs, you can almost certainly afford it. I think.
I would agree with you.
Yeah. It's a shame. I quite like the idea that if the Type 8 cost twice as much as the Type 7, that there might still be a place for a Type 7 on that progression. But I think these days in Elite,
I think you're
by the
right.
time you can afford a Type 7, you can afford anything.
Mark Gamer says, "Do we care? They could charge cutter money and we'll all still get it."
Yeah.
I mean, man's got a point. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Nicey says, mostly hauling, although knowing the AXI other anti-Xeno groups are available, someone will take it into the maelstrom. Also, Stellar Screenshots is going to be full of Type 8s holding stuff, isn't it? Yes.
If by holding you mean scissoring, yes.
Scissoring and holding things. Like scissoring if you don't have anyone to partner with. Like scissoring inanimate objects if you don't have anyone to partner with. No one's kink shaming here.
I'm just thinking some of the biologicals.
Oh yes. So like okay. My brain just went somewhere Spire site related, and I have to give myself a moment.
Right, will you take a moment? Shall I read Commander Shales?
I think that's a really good idea.
Okay, so Commander Schnales. Yeah, Schnales. For me, it's all going down to come down to jump range and mass. If the ship is a little more hollow space than the Python, maybe we can get away with a little shield generator in the class 4 slot, giving the rest over for other things. It could be a great evacuation ship, for instance. However, with the Class 5 thrusters rather than the Python's Class 7s, I have a feeling it might not have the speed or maneuverability for that. Time will tell. Otherwise, it might end up as a medium pad hauler, shifting cheap precious metals from places that only have the smaller landing spots. Either way, I'm getting one. Looks cool. And they're right. It does look cool.
Yeah, but you went off a flying Volvo.
If I was trading, damn right I would. As you know what though, if I was mining, I'm all right with that because you could put the mining beams on the end and things like that. That would make sense.
It'd be good if those arms moved in and then you could crush asteroids. So instead,
So you go nom 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 nom.
No, like I'm thinking, literally like a nutcracker or something. So instead of all the deep charge nonsense, you just maneuver your ship so that your asteroid's in between the arms, and then they hydraulic in and crack it like a walnut.
Crack it like a walnut. Seems reasonable.
I love that.
So basically, this ship is now going to be known as the Nutcracker that scissors. Is that what you?
Hell yeah!
New ship name: Scissoring Nutcracker.
It don't feel like dancing when the old Joanna plays.
What's the name of the Bond villain
You know
that
what?
used to crush men between her thighs? That'd be a good name for it.
A lot of vagina?
No, that's Austin Powers.
Oh, I know it's from Goldeneye, but I can't remember what it is. I mean, it's up there with Dr. Goodhead. I mean, yeah, when you go back to some of them, what the old Bond names.
You can
Wow.
go doctors and not feel guilty about it.
Dear. Now
Xenia on the top, we're being advised.
What?
Xenia on the top is the Xenia on the top. Well, we've had 3 people in chat say this now.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh dear.
Confirmed.
It's like Benny Hill was writing the scripts. It really was.
Phil.
Disgusting.
I mean, that is literally on a par with Carry On's Bung Du Din, isn't it?
Yes.
There's no difference in quality of pun level there.
Yeah. Right. Well, let's quickly move on to any other business. Psychic.
Hi, pals. It's Lovely Meetup Month, 20th of July, just outside Bristol. I'm gonna put a link to it in the show notes. Feel free to pop along if you want, because it was really fun last year. It's a good crack if you're about.
Excellent.
I'm going. It's gonna be good.
Yay!
I don't think I'll be back in time for my holiday, unfortunately.
That's quite all right.
Right.
You just swanning off. Have a croissant for the rest of us.
I've got to search a ship for a model SRV.
You do.
I'm not going to be there.
It's not going to be there. Some crew member thinks somebody's left this thing here, whatever that is. Anyway, it's like geocaching for sailors, isn't it? Right, for those of you who remember the Sticky Bee video from absolute years ago, Entropy 101 has actually produced their first video in about 3 years. It's a Wing Commander based one, so it's got some space stuff in it. So I just thought I'd give them a shout out because Sticky Bee is just amazing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Hey folks, a couple of weeks ago I mentioned the Deliver Us Home Kickstarter. It's at 70%. As of right now, it's at just over 70%. It has 8 days left to go. So there is a very, very real chance of it meeting its goal. I've played the demo or the prototype demo that they've released. That they've sent to creators and stuff to pimp out the game. I'll probably play it again next week at some point because I missed a shit ton of stuff in that demo, which they have ribbed me about enough, Kyokan, you sods. But yeah, it's brilliant what they're doing. Please consider dropping a few quid and helping them reach their goal because I really want to play that game. I really want to finish that story. I did miss like 99% of it. I know. Which is why I want to play again. And they've added they've been adding new stuff to this demo all the time as well. If you've played any of the other Deliver Us games, so Deliver Us the Moon or Deliver Us Mars, you'll know how brilliant the storytelling and the narrative. This, the goal is to make it a little bit more sort of not branching, but give you a little bit more space to breathe within the narrative as well. But it's just so good, and I'm so proud of those boys for doing this. And I just want Cohen and Paul to do really well. Also, just one little extra other thing. Hey, if you're in the UK, don't forget to vote if you haven't already. If you haven't postal voted, Thursday. Exercise your fucking democratic right.
And remember your passport, because the bastards are trying to stop you voting.
Remember any form of ID that you may have. It doesn't have to be passport, but providing a thing. Please exercise your democratic right. I'm not saying who you should vote for, but
yes, vote.
14 fucking years is enough, lads. Let's get this done.
Even if you vote, even if you spoil your ballot, that counts for a lot.
Yeah,
it
really does.
A friend of mine said that I'm going to spoil my ballot by putting a dick sign in the Conservative box until I told him.
Don't do that. That would count as a thing.
That counts as a genuine vote, mate.
If you only put a dick sign in the Tory vote, that's the Tory vote.
So yes.
Yeah, so don't do that.
If you're going to spoil your ballot, do it over the whole ballot, not just in one of those little boxes. Okay? Right. But vote properly, please. Anyway, I have this mostly Clueless thing came in because I watched Ricardo's gaming channel the other day, and you know how, Alec, you were saying earlier that there's all these little things that I didn't know.
Yeah.
This is one of them, because I didn't know that an ECM can be used to stop hatch breaker limpets.
That's interesting.
Actually,
I never run with an ECM, so I'm not convinced I knew that.
No, I'm not. I've ever used one. Actually.
I thought point defense cannons could shoot them down.
Oh, point defense cannons do as well, but if you want to short them out as they're coming in, apparently ECM does the job.
The ECM will work with the Galnet. Does the ECM still work with the scythes?
It also works with the sides as well.
Yeah, I didn't know that went over to the normal hatchbreaker limpets.
Nope, works with both.
Amazing.
So there we have it. We've actually got something that we didn't know about. Thank you, Ricardo's Gaming. Fantastic YouTube channel. Right, so shoutouts. Our sister station, Hutton Orbital Radio. It broadcasts on Thursday from 8:30. You can tune in at twitch.tv, Hutton Orbital Truckers, or if you just want the audio, go to radio.forthemug.com. And of course, remember, we've got ECM coming up soon. Woo! For the discerning commander that likes a bit of CQC action, you check out the CQC Discord at discord.me/EliteDangerousCQC, especially if you want that quadruple, quintuple, and sextuple elite. Good luck with that one. We'll give a shout outs to the following Elite Dangerous podcasts. Of course, there's the Guard Frequency, who do other space sims as well. There's also the good old Loose Screws, who like talking about the FU. And of course, happy birthday to the Burr Pit, who have been running their YouTube channel for now 6 years.
Yay!
Hey.
So well done, Burr and Rini. Yeah, it's always fantastic photography. And cinematography when it comes to that. So, yeah. Following this, we do have the latest Galnet News Digest, included probably with fantastic Jude ship impressions, as provided by Commander Witherspoon and Commander Beatitude. And who do we have chipping in game, Ben? Has anybody annoyed you?
Yeah, no one's annoyed me. Siberius has come along, said hi, and is now sitting down very civilized at the in a seat somewhere. And Commander Soka 42 jumped about in my face a little bit, and then ran off to do a mission.
Cool.
Amazing. Great stuff.
Yay.
Solid work.
Right, well, special thanks to Commander Tokuso, Jane Trax, and Alan Stroud, who have all created music for the show. But that's it for another episode of Lave Radio. If you'd like to get in touch with the show, you can find the contact links in the home/contact us menu of the laveradio.com website. Do let us know if you have any questions or if there's anything you'd like us to discuss in a future episode. Lave Radio is recorded live on a Tuesday evening at 8:30 and streamed out at laveradio.com/live. So, thanks to Claire.
What song? You're welcome.
Thanks to Alec.
Thanks, Colin. Good night, all.
Thanks to Ben.
I think it's time for some pita bread.
Pita bread, easy, Tiger.
With hummus.
Oh! Are you having the Queen for tea, sir?
I might even have some tzatziki.
Wow, the level of sophistication to your palate, Ben, is unbelievable.
Or I might just have some beans and cheese.
Beans and cheese works too, mate.
It does.
There you go, some nice cheesy beans.
Cheesy beans!
Beans and cheese were a good thing at school.
Oh, good grief. Thank goodness you live alone. That room will smell something rotten. Right. Oh, okay. And special thanks goes to our today's tech specialist, the Chris Mark V, who is also poorly. So give it up for the poorly Chris Mark V.
Grandfather Nurgle has blessed me with his gifts.
You've been
do
playing...
sad shit, Chris.
And someone's been playing Chaos Gate too much. So until next time, Commanders, fly safe. And if you can't do that, fly dangerous.
Is your life like this? Sounds like someone having an orange inserted. Need a safe word.
Space can be done.
I'm going to see the galaxy.
Galnet News Digest, 2nd of July, 3310. We read the news so you don't have to. In this week's news, it's a Titan Goes Boom week. And we're patiently waiting for the Type 8, 2 more ships, and Power Play 2.0.
Titan Indra is expected to go boom before the week is out. And that means it's nearly time to earn your cosmetics. You need to earn 2 million credits of Pilots Federation bounties during the 7 days leading up to the Titan being destroyed to earn whatever cosmetic rewards are on offer. However, it's become much harder to earn anything by attacking a Titan before it's vulnerable. If you can, the best advice seems to be to wait until the Titan loses its last remaining control systems on Thursday, and then have a hand in destroying as many of the thermal core rings as you can. In addition to the star on your decal, you'll also earn arcs for each ring you attack. Progress is visible both on the system and galaxy maps, and by looking at the lights going out on the core itself. You just need stuff you can buy from a rescue ship to take part. A Thargoid pulse neutralizer and a couple of caustic zinc launchers to get through the maelstrom cloud, a nanite torpedo pylon to force the Titan to expose its thermal core, and some standard anti-Xeno weapons to do it some damage. AX missile launchers are a good choice. The Thargoids won't pursue you into the asteroids, so you can safely repair and regenerate your shields. Once the Titan has failed, and the Thargoid ships start escaping, you can rescue human hostages, or attack the fleeing aliens to earn some credits. But keep an eye on the timer. In all 4 previous cases, the Titan has exploded spectacularly exactly 24 hours later, and we can assume the same will happen for Indra too. You really don't want to miss that.
It's going to be a while before we get to see Power Play 2.0 and its impressive carrier formations and exclusive benefits for pledging. But the Python Mark II will become generally available on the 8th of August, which is also when the Lacon Type 8 is expected to become available as a premium purchase. Power Play 2.0, which is what the federal election and the sad tale of the Emperor's sick mother have been waiting for, is expected to become available in the very late summer, specifically in September, which, after all that global warming and the Third World War, has presumably been redesignated as summer in the northern hemisphere of Earth in the 3300s. We don't yet have a lot of detail about what it will mean for commanders, but it seems likely that it will be worth pledging to one of the powers for the significant benefits, and for the right to land on the power's carriers. It is not at all clear what will happen to prismatic shields, packhounds and pacifiers. Will they still be locked to a specific power, or will they become generally available? Meanwhile, the second of the 4 new ships that will be released this year has been announced. The Lacon Type 8 is a medium pad hauler with lots of capacity and enough hard points to make tritium mining practical. It'll be available in early August if you don't mind buying it using ARCs. Otherwise, you'll probably need to wait till October, which is when the 3rd new ship is likely to become available for early access. And by our reckoning, the 4th new ship of 3310 is likely to be released in January 3311. But we are ready to be pleasantly surprised if it comes out this side of Christmas.
And that's this week's Galnet News. Galnet News, we read the news so you don't have to.